inside my own world of make-believe. Kids screaming in the cradles, profanities. I see the world through eyes covered in ink and bleach. Cross out the ones who heard my cries and watched me weep. I love everything.
How we doing, everybody? Welcome. This may look really bad. It says my internet is really bad. I don't know what's going on, so that could be happening. If it is, my apologies. I'm gonna do this at 240p. I'll re-upload at a higher quality. Trying to let me see if I'm putting my 2 seconds here. Yeah, I don't know, y'all. Just it is what it is. Nothing I could do about it. Restarted my internet. I don't know. Anyway, I've got some exclusive information for the entire UFO community presented to me today. I will be telling you who told me because, again, I don't do anonymous sources, and they are putting their name to this. I have some proof. All the things we want. Right? This is a pretty big announcement. So look, I'm going to let people kind of come into the live chat here before I get into some details, but I'm hearing coming up on November 13th, right? Pardon me. And we've known about potentially another hearing in the Senate. Well, that has been confirmed. Okay, there is a Senate hearing coming. And we should all be excited. It's another UAP hearing, right? Let's get into it. What am I holding back for? I hate when people do that. All right, let's see here. How am I gonna? All right, let's do this first. All right, so Ron James, who put out the documentary "Accidental Truth," and he's got a new documentary coming out called Accidental Truth Next, or The Next Accidental Truth. I'm not sure what the final name is going to be. But Ron contacted me this morning and gave me some really positive news. I think everyone is going to want to hear. So basically, all right, let's do this. Got to share one more screen. Kirsten Gillibrand, right, in the Senate here. You can read. She's an American lawyer and politician serving as the junior United States Senator from New York since 2009. Member of the Democratic Party, she served as a member of the U.S. House of Representatives from 2007 to 2009. So she has been heavily involved in the UAP topic, and of course, being behind Arrow and helping Arrow. They even, well, one thing we can announce that a new hearing is coming. So the House hearing has been confirmed for the 13th of November. Well, a Senate hearing has now been confirmed, scheduled, okay, for the 19th. So we've got November 13th in the House, November 19th in the Senate. All right. And let me show you some stuff here. Boom. This is Ron James on a call. Offices of Nancy Mace and Kirsten Gillibrand. All right. And we blacked out their names. Right. There's Ron talking to them. All right. So you can see that it's real. And yeah, this has been confirmed from the staffers, scheduled for the 19th, November 19th, y'all. Okay. Oh, I think my internet just got better. Let's hope that Let's hope that stays. So basically, this is kind of the statement here. As Media Relations Director for MUFON, Ron James has been in calls with staffers from both the House Oversight Committee and the Senate regarding upcoming hearings, potential witnesses, and more. He's gathering material for his upcoming sequel to Accidental Truth called Accidental Truth Next. Oh, there you go. Again, narrated by Matthew Modine from Full Metal Jacket, y'all. Hello. Which will be out in the spring of 2025. Ron James will be streaming live from DC during the week of the hearings. Pardon me. And from a secret location in Ohio during an investigation of a new UAP case. Keep an eye on MUFON's YouTube and Facebook pages for more information. So there you go. It's going to be live streaming. So basically, within a week's time, we will have 2 UAP hearings. Right. That's awesome. Kind of back to back. And the first one will be with Nancy Mace in the House, and then the second one with Kirsten Gillibrand in the Senate. Now, who are the witnesses in that? I don't know. Don't have any information to confirm anything like that. But we can confirm that this hearing is happening. Right? At least it's scheduled. Things can always change, y'all. Even, things can always change. But that is what is announced. All right. So how will these differ? Right. That's the biggest question. How will these differ? I'm gonna raise my seat, y'all. See me standing up here. Okay. Yeah, how will these differ, right? In the House, we have confirmed Rear Admiral Tim Gallaudet, former Rear Admiral Tim Gallaudet, testifying. That has been confirmed. That's really the only thing. And it has been said that they're going to be talking about Immaculate Constellation, this, secretive UAP program, umbrella program, reconnaissance effort, but also crash retrieval, reverse engineering, right? Immaculate Constellation. And more details about that is supposed to come out. The whistleblower who had his report leaked, right, that detailed this program, Immaculate Constellation, potentially will be testifying. I know there's some stuff on Twitter of people trying to out this guy, which is horrific. They're trying to dox this dude. I've seen some things that it turns my stomach, to be honest with you. Some of the things people will do in the UFO community who proclaim truth and wanting disclosure and then do the most horrific things you could imagine. It's kind of disappointing. So hopefully that whistleblower is protected. Again, the same people who claim to want to protect whistleblowers that are the same people who threaten them and then try to out them online to force their hand to come out. If maybe they get cold feet or something. So I think a lot of times when you hear these people talk about threats and this, that, it's literally within the UFO community, which is horrific, right? We're our own worst enemy, y'all, sometimes. But regardless, this UAP hearing in the Senate will probably focus on Arrow. That was what was always talked about before with the new director of Arrow, right? Sean Kirkpatrick is long gone. In fact, the new guys, nobody talks about their names, whatever. Sean Kirkpatrick really made an impact with his stuff. So, will they turn a new leaf? Will they be talking about new things? I don't know. Who knows, right? Until it comes. But I guarantee you this, they will be very different. They will be very, very different. Could the hearing on the 13th affect what happens on the 19th? Absolutely. And in fact, I think I said this in my vetted Discord. I assumed that they would have the Senate one after the House one to see what was said, right? To be honest. that could be a good thing or a bad thing, right? But what are those dates exactly? Let's look at that. I'm gonna pull up my calendar. Okay, so the 13th is a Wednesday, and the 19th is the following Tuesday, right? So we've got the election on the 5th, which could do something, right? It could throw a wrench in things. Let's hope not. So Wednesday, the 13th of November, will be the House hearing, and then Tuesday, November 19th, will be the Senate hearing. So shout out to Ron James, man, for doing a lot of this hard work behind the scenes. A lot of people do, right? Out here confirming this information and letting us know, right? So I think you'll probably see that start to spread this date here pretty soon, probably today, about this. And yeah, we can look forward to that. What do y'all think of the chat? Are we excited about the curious? There's been a lot of talk about these hearings and what's going to happen, right? I've heard everything across the spectrum too. It's going to be a nothing burger. There's no point to this is going to blow things wide open, you know? So, I mean, literally from one end of the spectrum to the other. Now, I think I think it'll matter just on a personal level, right? Because everyone will have their own of what is moving the needle or new information, or if that makes sense. So, yeah, each person's going to decide on their own if it was explosive or not, right? Or exciting or not. You know what I mean? It just depends how much you follow this topic. Now, if they do openly talk in this hearing on the 13th about this program, Immaculate Constellation, and name the program and everything, I have to admit that would be pretty big, just to get that on the record and have that open and talked about. I'm not a political strategist or have any real legal knowledge or anything, but just from a citizen standpoint, that would be exciting, right? Because at last year's hearing, David Grush spoke about a program and these things, but nothing was named, no detail, no concrete details, at least not in public, right? He has it behind the scenes and was willing to share it to Congress, right? But to openly talk about this program and what it does and start naming things will be massive, right? And again, supposedly this whistleblower who came across this program, outside of the normal purview, right? Not in the normal UFO group. So they could be bringing an extra layer of credibility by being out of this circle of UFO people. Not that that means anything bad. However you look at it, some people think that's negative. Some people think that's positive. I don't know. But again, talking about this program from this, who again, I hope they're trying, I hope this dude doesn't get doxxed. He kind of already did, but it didn't get much traction. So I'm hoping it doesn't. I'm not going to show what I've seen. You know what I mean? I just hope that that doesn't happen, because that is not a way to do it. Right. We can't say that we want to protect whistleblowers and then put them in harm's way. The same people who say we want to protect whistleblowers cannot be the people who put them in harm's way. That doesn't compute up here for me. I lose all trust in the process and in those people. If whistleblowers get cold feet, let them get cold feet. I don't think pressuring them, and I just don't think that's the right way to do it, in my opinion. Because again, if we lose our humanity, why fight for humanity? What's the point when we get to the finish line? If we have, you know what I mean, crossed every line we could on our way to the end, right? The end justify the means? No, because when you get to the end, you've got to review your means, and then it becomes not worth it. It's like climbing, Mount Everest or something, killing every climber along the way to make sure you get up there. Then you get up there, look at this trail of blood behind you, like, I made it. Yeah, but at what cost? Was not worth it, right? So we all need to relax a little and remember that our humanity comes first, right? We can't be out to save humanity and bring knowledge to humanity at any cost. That just, in my opinion, should not be the journey. So again, those of you that are just tuned in to the Vetted live stream, the new UAP hearing, I can confirm, has been announced, scheduled for November 19th, Tuesday, November 19th, from the offices of Kirsten Gillibrand. Again, I'll bring this up here from Ron James. He told me I could share these pictures. Okay, he sent them to me. So shout out to Ron and Move On for providing this. Again, they're just confirmation that Ron actually talked to these people and actually got this information, right? Because again, there is just so much, my sources told me this and that. You'll never hear me say that. I will tell you who said it, bring them up, and I ask them first. They've got to be willing to put their name behind it. Because otherwise I want no part of that, because there was so much misinformation going on around about this November 13th hearing. Right. And at the end of the day, the best thing to do is just wait till that date comes, and then it either happens or it doesn't. Right. So again, this is exciting. November 13th with Nancy Mace, who is going to bulldog this thing, right? Regardless of how you think about her politically. The way she deals with the UFO topic, I'm a big fan of. All right? I'm not here to get into anything else about her or her politics or any of these people's politics, right? Kirsten Gillibrand is a Democrat, Nancy Mace a Republican. I don't care. How do they handle the topic? All right, and they're willing to spend time with it. I'm in. So Nancy is a bulldog when it comes to the UAP topic. She asked. There was a lot of amazing questions at the hearing last year, but in my opinion, Nancy Mace asked the best questions, right? The ones real people, I think, just everyday average person wanted to know, right? About the craft, about the bodies. We got confirmation from David Grush, right? There are bodies, not just the term biologics, or the bodies, alien bodies. So I think the biggest thing in what people are talking about is what's going to happen at these hearings. What are they going to discuss? What do people want from this? Clearly, everything people want from this hearing won't happen in a 2 to 3, 4 hour window. So what are the things at the top that should be covered first? And then if you have time, you get to XYZ, right? In my opinion, one thing that cannot be forgotten is what happened at last year's hearing, right? With David Grush, Commander David Fravor, Ryan Graves, right? All amazing people who testified, right? The credibility was through the roof with these three guys together, the superpower, right? David Grush's investigation, right? Sitting in the middle of all this. I hope that at this hearing, they sort of come back to that. We don't forget about that moment, right? That they follow up, that they let us know what's been happening with David Grush's, witness list and his whole entire information, right? His investigation, his packet, right? His case that he had to look into UFO. What is happening with that? Did y'all go visit the places he told you? Did you XYZ, right? I hope there's a follow-up on that. Because otherwise, I mean, that was the whole kit bang and caboodle or whatever it's called. right? Was right there. The answers were right there. Addresses, right? Places to go, people to see. Pretty simple. Now, let me say this. I'm speculating here, okay? Strictly speculation. I'm a nobody. I know nothing. I'm just a ex-chef who turned on a mic one day and started talking to the camera about UFOs. Yeah, that sounds crazy. But I think that Immaculate Constellation, that program, was part of David Grush's investigation. So even if they don't outwardly say this is a follow-up to David Grush's investigations, I think informally it is, because I think that Immaculate Constellation was part of David Grush's investigation as well. And I think that whistleblower who wrote that report and it got, quote unquote, leaked out and covered by journalist Michael Schellenberger, right, which we covered extensively on this show. I think that is also one of David Grush's witnesses, probably one of his top witnesses, right? Which is why the term Immaculate Constellation was searched heavily during right before right before the hearing last year, right? Was searched right around Dayton, Ohio, right? Patterson Air Force Base, right? There was a heavy influx of searches. So I think people had David Grush's investigation, right? They had his files or whatever, at least some of them. And before the hearing, just doing a little checking, right? Online, seeing what's going on. To search for that term, right? So I think that, unofficially be a follow-up to David Grush's investigation which is interesting. But either way, a follow-up to David Grush's investigation to me is key, is paramount. And then bringing in, new witnesses for this hearing, right? And okay, let's go over it. What are they going to say? How many people are they going to have testify? And what will the focus be, right? And then again, the next hearing at the House, you want to bring up that information again, right? What has happened last hearing? What have you done? Because otherwise, we're just starting from scratch on a timer, right? So we have to think of these like episodes in a season. We gotta follow up, right? So, I guess one thing I would say too is I hope they don't have too many witnesses at these hearings, especially the one in the House, right? Just won't give enough time. I think 3 worked out perfectly last time. So you've got Tim Gallaudet confirmed to be testifying. Then you would have, I don't know, maybe this new whistleblower. And then, Carl Nell has been spoken about. Lou Elizondo has insinuated that he potentially could be testifying. I guess there's quite a few different people, right? A few people have said they're not testifying. James Lakatsky and Colm Kelleher, 2 scientists who worked on the OSAP program in the early mid 2000s, late 2000s. And James Lakatsky has famously been quoted stating, that we breached the hull of a UFO. We got inside of it, that we have a UFO or recovered UFO, but that they won't be testifying because they don't feel there's enough whistleblower protections. Wait, what? But you'll go on a podcast and say it? So the podcast has protections for you? That makes zero sense. And I don't think that podcast counts as testifying or under oath. If they went on the Weaponized podcast with Jeremy Corbell and stated that last year. Yeah, I think they should come in and say that under oath to Congress. I that doesn't make any sense to me. You know what I mean? So maybe that'll be the 3: Tim Gallaudet, this new whistleblower, right, talking about Immaculate Constellation and Lou Elizondo. Maybe more. I don't know, right? I don't know how many witnesses they're going to have. They're keeping that very tight, which rightfully they should, because last time the list got leaked and people got intimidated and yada yada, and we got what we got. So they're keeping that very tight. And the same thing with the Senate. Although I think the Senate hearing with Gillibrand is going to more focus on Arrow and what they're doing, which is fine. The more the merrier, right? And will they take into consideration what is said in the House hearing, especially less than a week earlier, right? I mean, they would have to. So I don't see, if Immaculate Constellation gets put up in the House hearing, I don't see how they don't talk about it in the Senate hearing. I mean, how would you not, right? And some people are saying that's just, this is going to blow up, right, in this House hearing. It's just going to be explosive and crazy and whatever. I don't know. How much will it move the needle? Everyone's going to have to decide for themselves. Do I think they're going to bring out a UFO and an alien? No. No. But I guess more importantly, I hope that whistleblower testifies, but not at the peril of like his own life. I'm just not willing to go there. Me personally. I just, I can't advocate for that. Maybe they'll talk about his report without him being there. Fine. Right. I think that's fair. Because if it can get leaked to a journalist, well, okay, let's get it in Congress and get it spoken about. Right. So I don't know. I don't know. But we got a couple hearings. It'll be awesome. Look, let's go to the chat, y'all. Let's real quick, just for new people tuning in, let me just cover a couple things real quick, reiterate a few things. So again, the House hearing has been confirmed for the 13th. And the new UAP hearing in the Senate has been scheduled for the 19th. Again, this is exclusively from Ron James, who gave me this information today. And here is him talking to the staffers in the offices of Nancy Mace and Kirsten Gillibrand, right, to confirm the House and the Senate. And Ron will be down there live streaming. I plan on live streaming both hearings, right, on Vetted here. So make sure you come in those days. I will be live streaming and adding my wonderful, colorful commentary to it all. But yeah, it's public. Should be no copyright issues, and we will live stream that and see what happens. That will be an event. I look forward to this stuff. These are the kind of things, your friends that aren't into this and your family and coworkers that aren't into this will hear about these hearings, this type of thing. Oh, did you hear about that guy that said X, Y, Z? It's going to come from moments like this, right? These are the kind of things that the mainstream media will cover about the topic. And I'm okay with that. Right? That's why these are good things, regardless of kind of how it goes, essentially. I mean, I shouldn't say that. They definitely need to take it seriously. But, look, this is another point, too. People, I think sometimes, too, there's a few different agendas, right? And a few different goals that need to be accomplished. On one hand, you could argue, well, let's just get people to testify and get their stories on the record. Yeah, but we already, get their stories on the record. Yeah, but, we already heard these people. They've said it on a podcast. Okay, that's great. But let's get them to say it under oath. I know you've already heard that information, but now it's under oath, right? It's much different. And then you want new people you haven't heard from, and what are they saying, and this, that, and the other, right? So, I'm kind of comfortable either way it goes. If they just get people in, you've already heard from them, and you see them come up and testify, and you literally hear no new information. Well, it's new for these Congress people, and it'll be new for millions of people that watch it, right? It'll be new for them, and it puts it on the record. Because again, one thing is to say something in a book, another thing is to say something in a podcast, or a documentary, or a History Channel show, or YouTube, or whatever. Another thing is to go in front of Congress and say it under oath. That is that's much different than talking to a staffer or talking behind closed door. Okay, whatever. Open hearing, you're under oath. Here we are. You're on live TV. Say it. That is much different. Right? Putting people's feet to the fire. So I wish there could be a week of hearings and we could just boom, boom, knock out so many people, get them under oath, get their statements. Yeah, right. Like building an investigation publicly, essentially, right, about this. So I'm kind of looking forward to it either way. No matter, I think it'll move the needle somewhat in some way, no matter what is discussed. Like I said, of course, I have my wishes, but that is what it is. Yes, guys, my my internet is just going slow right now, and it is cooked. So there's nothing I can do about it, to be honest. But I will re-upload this afterwards with better quality because I'm recording it at the same time. I think they're messing with me, y'all. You know what I mean? They zapped my internet to make sure I couldn't get this information out to you. Just kidding. But yeah, let's get to the chat, y'all. I want to hear from y'all a little bit. Throw up some comments, have some conversation about this. Monkey Boy says, "Happy Halloween, veterans. Love this channel and its communities." Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes. Happy Halloween. Happy Dia de los Muertos. What are you doing for Halloween? You dressing up? Are you going out? I'm taking my nephew's trick-or-treating, so I cannot wait. It's going to be awesome. But thank you, Monkey Boy. And yes, happy Halloween, everyone. All right, let's look for some comments, some questions. Ebony, thank you again for being a YouTube member. If you want to become a YouTube member, the link's in the description. Helga doesn't mind the shoddy internet, Patrick. Yeah. Thank you, Helga. Helga the cat, baby. Did something solid and firsthand to get your average person interested in taking this topic seriously. We're already dialed in, so this is interesting to us, but to everyone else, it isn't. I mean, yes and no, right? There's a lot going on there, defining everyone and this and that, and there's a lot going on there. It's very nuanced. George says hello from Germany. George, make sure to check out. We have a German channel now, so make sure to check that out. I will put a link in the description after this video. It's on our main channel. You can go down to feature channels and find it, but we do all the vetted shows in German now. That's right. So you can get it in German and in Spanish. If you go to our main channel, again, I'll put links in the description after this, or they'll throw it in chat for you, maybe. Okay, guys. Yeah, if you have any questions or just comments, put it up. Did you see Holland new video about quantum tunneling? I did not. I did not. I bet it's amazing. Would love to hear about it. He's talked a little bit on here about it. I find all of that fascinating and way over my head. Oh, boom. Okay, here it is, y'all. That's the vetted German channel, vetted Deutsch. You hear me? Speaking German. Sprechen Sie Deutsch? Just kidding. Okay. Here we go. Thank you, Daniel. You think the whistleblower will show photos and videos what Immaculate Constellation does? I hope so. We were talking about this too. I don't think they show media at the last hearing, right? So that would be interesting to bring, some proof in the pudding, right? That would be cool. That would be very cool. Yeah, I agree. Some photos, videos, something would really help. As an example, right, of what this thing is and what it's capable of, like what the database is capable of, because that's apparently what this Immaculate Constellation is too, right? This huge database of high quality videos, photos of UFOs. Yeah, would I like to see that? Yes. Yes. I think a lot of people would. And here is the Spanish channel, Vetted Español. Por favor, si te apetece. Ahí está el enlace. Rob D says, if these programs are illegal, that would nullify any secrecy agreements. No? Or how can you be held accountable for exposing a secret program that's illegal? I mean, great questions. I don't know all the legalese about this. I agree. I tried to get Danny Sheehan on. I reached out, but because I wanted to talk to him about all this before the hearing, kind of get just the legal aspect of the implications, this, that, the other, whatever, all of this stuff. But he is not available till next year, 2020, anytime soon. And there's it's a gray area, essentially, with a lot of this, right? That's why there's this whistleblower report that he made on this program, again, that he accidentally came upon, which is also concerning, that you can accidentally come upon what is potentially the most secretive program or one of to ever exist, and you can just accidentally come upon it. That's concerning. And why hasn't that happened before? But yeah, would it be great to hear that person's story of how they accidentally came upon it and what led them to that, and then what they discovered and XYZ? And is this program still active? Did the name change? What exactly does it entail? Because they mention it as like an umbrella program, right? So that there's other programs underneath it. Yeah. How long ago was it? When did it start? Again, is it still ongoing? JC Pro says, do we have dates for both the Fox and Knapp docs? The George Knapp show is coming out on Netflix very soon, this in November. So yeah, around the time of these hearings, to be honest with you. And James Fox's documentary does not have a release date as of yet. Monkey Boy said, I had a heated debate with a friend about UAP and he still thinks it's not real. How do you deal with friends like that? Easy. They're allowed to have their own opinions about things, man. You can't, in my opinion, you cannot force people to have an opinion like yours, right? Forcing someone to agree with you on something or getting frustrated that they don't see what you see or whatever. I don't, this is a journey for everyone to come upon. In my opinion, the friends that I have, for instance, that may not be into this, if they ask me a question, I answer it. And I may bring up things and talk about stuff, but I don't force the issue. And I'm not going to get mad at anybody if they think it's all bullshit or whatever. That's their opinion. It doesn't matter to me one way or the other. So I don't really deal with friends like that in that sense, right? I don't really care. They're allowed to think what they want. It's that simple. I'm just a example, right? if I think too, if you act a little crazy about this stuff and you argue, then that's what they see. That's what they see as the UAP topic. Oh, look at this guy, he's just crazy and yells about it. Like that's what it is. The UAP topic just filled with crazy people, right? So, in my opinion, just be cool. Answer any questions they have, and if they're still like, "Yeah, I think it's bullshit," okay, no problem. I mean, doesn't affect your life. You know what I mean? Just keep living your life. But that's just my opinion. Everyone's got their own way to deal with it. But if you're asking me, monkey boy, so that's how I would approach it. Just with patience, a little humility, and just tell them their opinion is just as valid, and it is what it is. Uncle D, Kelleher and Lukatsky were able to say this on podcasts and wrote in a book because they got approved by Dobson. Yes, we need them under oath recorded. Sounds like they would just lie anyway, though. So I don't think they would lie under oath. Not at all. I think they would lie under oath. And yes, their book got approved by Dobson, which is what many people, right? It's all Dobson approved. Dobson. I'm starting to like, because the same, like if you want to write a fiction or book, like a movie, like it's all Dobson approved. I'm starting to think like Dobson approved means that's probably not true. And I don't know. Anyone else feeling that way? Like that's becoming not a good thing. Dennis's digital dump last try. Have you checked out Breaking the Silence? Last try. I don't know what that means, but have you checked out Breaking the Silence? I don't know what that is. So no, I have not checked that out. Let me know what it is, Dennis. Brian Shirley, thank you so much, brother. Appreciate you. Shout out to all my mods who are running the chat right now. Thank y'all so much, man. We have such a great team here. I'm vetted in the Discord and here. So shout out to Justin, Ali, Chris, Daniel, Jessica, Heiser, Miss Brookers. Shout out to y'all, man. Love y'all so much. And to Todd, who runs our open mics in our Discord. You should be there checking that out if you haven't already. Conversations happening every day. Mr. Hank says, this is why it's so important to have a legal framework. These guys are afraid, and it's perfectly understandable. You're not talking about 40-hour work as punishment. Yeah, I get it. It's really easy to say from the sidelines, "Ow, I would do this and that." It's really easy for us to say, and I've been there myself. I've said it too, right? So, but I get it, 100%. Watched a podcast where it was stated that originally Carl Nell was set to replace Dr. Sean Kirkpatrick. That's interesting. I didn't know that. I'd be curious what podcast that is. Who said that? But that's interesting. Yeah, because think about it. You had all these programs going, right? And even the Pentagon's Office to Study UFOs before Arrow was the UAPTF, right? And that's where like Jay Stratton and that's where David Grush did his investigation. And then it moves into Arrow. Complete opposite. It seems so odd. I mean, you put your hat on. That's an interesting coincidence that like David Grush uncovers, you know, witnesses that office ends, and then they bring in this new office with new people who just shut it all down publicly, right? While David Grush is trying to come out and tell his story and testify. So interesting. I mean, David Grush, Commander David Fravor, and Ryan Graves testify, right, in front of Congress, and Arrow barely even touches it. That's weird. That's very weird. And I'm very skeptical, you know. So I'm even saying that's weird. Ian says, "Do you think UAP equivalent of taking the fifth? I've still got security clearance, so can't divulge NDAs, prevent me from saying anything further." Kind of shit. Sure. David Grush said that. Right. I can't really talk about that, but I can tell you in a skiff. Right. And that's probably what Tim Gallaudet would say. Right. If it's classified, you can reveal some stuff, but it has to be in a secure setting. So yes, I think whoever's testifying will probably throw that line out a few times, 100%. And, you know, for those that don't know, Tim Gallaudet is probably going to discuss, you know, water-based events, right? Working in the Navy, he was part of the Go Fast. He's got information on Go Fast, and that Go Fast video, UFO video that got released. Remember the 3 that came with the New York Times article, 2017. One of them was called Go Fast. There's a whole story behind that. I think Tim Gallaudet will be testifying to that. Maybe underwater bases. I mean, that would be kind of mind blowing. Like, you know, Danny Sheehan has come out and said there is an underwater UFO base, right, in between Baja California and Guadalupe Island, right? Southwestern United States in Mexico, that area. I mean, just stating specific right here, there's an underwater UFO base. Is Tim Gallaudet going to say that? Is he going to confirm some of these details? Is he going to talk about some of that? I don't know. He'll probably talk about just the overall, you know, stigma in the Navy and what he's experienced, that there's a lot of activity underwater and that sort of thing. Right. And bring up the term USO. Probably that term will get introduced. That will be a hot term after this hearing. USO, unidentified submerged object. Again, all speculation. Aaron says, "What are you going for as for Halloween, Patrick?" Yeah, I'm not dressing up. I haven't dressed up in a long time, to be honest with you. Maybe I should. Too late now. Hey, new UFO on Netflix is fire. Yeah, did y'all see that? I watched that. What is it called? The alien abductions, Manhattan alien abduction story. But right, and Linda, oh my God, Corlani, or interesting, very interesting story. I highly recommend it on Netflix. It's an interesting journey and quite a fascinating tale. Right, a woman is abducted multiple times out of her lower Manhattan apartment. One instance, she's taken out of her window and, you know, pulled up into a UFO, right, in a bright white light, and there were up to potentially 23 other witnesses who saw that, like neighbors of hers that saw that happen. That's pretty interesting, but the story does get crazier. She's like this what is it, rather, or Dan and Richard or something, I can't remember the names. These I don't know, honestly, not by aliens, you know, by secret agents, and there's all kinds of things going on. Her son ends up also getting potentially abducted. It's an I'll say that. I think it's well worth the watch if anyone doesn't know that story. Some might say it's the most compelling alien abduction story ever, right? Some might say it's not. I will say I think it's one of the most interesting stories I've ever heard about the topic. That's for sure. So I recommend it. It's on Netflix. Costas, what's up, brother? Been a stressful, anxiety-filled last few weeks at work. Vetted has been the only thing I look forward to every night. Thanks, Pat, and everyone. Thank you. You're the man, dude. Yeah, man. Stress getting you down. I feel like this is a commercial. Is stress getting you down? Come over to Vetted. Like a little pill you pop. Yeah. Look, again, if you want to find like-minded people who want to have open, respectful discussions about this topic, regardless of your opinion, just as long as you're respectful and not disruptive, we welcome you into the Vetted Discord. We will not put up with disruption and just aggressiveness and disrespect. And we're not like that. Just regular people that want to talk about this openly. People have doubts. People have concerns. People have hopes and dreams about it. It's the whole spectrum, like life is. Right. We respect anyone's opinion of what they have to say about the topic. Again, just bringing it in a respectful way. And they're great conversations happening pretty much 24/7 in the Discord. So if you're not a member yet, it's free to join. Link in the description. I'm sure they'll pop it in the chat. I recommend it. Join in and hang in. I'll be there after this live stream. Oh, I am way behind in the chat. Okay, guys. My apologies. Marky says, have you watched the other doc, The Secret of Dr. Greenberg? I have not watched that yet, to be honest with you. Because I did that podcast with Pavel from Psychoactivo about Jacobo Greenberg. And yeah, I feel like I got the documentary there, but yeah, you're right. I should watch it. There's just so much to watch, y'all. It's like you got to kind of pick and choose, right? Right now, I think that's what it is, MGM or something. Never heard of that streaming network, but it's a J.J. Abrams Bad Robot production. I haven't seen that yet. It's supposed to be really good. Stone Avengers. I think if Luis Elizondo has anything to do with November 13th, he's only going to repeat what he said on the recent podcast, and there have been loads now. But again, you can argue that it's just getting that on the record under oath. I'm okay with that. Do I want? Yes. Right. Jesse Nez. What's up, Jesse? Good to see you. His wife Flip. That's Hopkins from the Manhattan alien abduction. Seems to be that's a there was like dual narrative. Was it a hoax? It was like this thing. It was interesting. Justin says, I don't like the way it ended. Yeah, it was I give it like a 6.5 out of 10. Essentially. I don't like how it ended. Like just speculative on both sides. It's like there's no proof on either of Bud Hopkins, who came out saying this is fake, and Linda telling her story. Neither of them really provided proof. XY provided any real proof of this hoax. Of kind of like, well, look at this. Just kind of gloss her debunking all Linda's story, real proof. all the eyewitnesses, her, they kind of broke down some of that too. I don't know if all of those witnesses are legit. Think, is that worth like a follow up and diving into some of those witnesses? Yeah, documentary didn't do that. Why didn't they go and try to find some of these newer witnesses? Yeah, so kind of hastily throw together. Had some real visuals. The light, great. Whoever did the lighting on that show. Yeah, I felt like it needed one on that thing. Just it made me want to look into the case a little deeper. Yeah, I agree, and maybe at the end of the day, that's kind of the goal with a lot of things. You want to start a conversation, get people to looking for themselves. I think it definitely accomplished that. Um, hmm, that's interesting. This is hard, y'all. Just to find some. Oh, I sound like a robot right now. It's like, yeah. Look, I won't keep this live longer. My just not good. Get a better version for real purposes. Andre said, "Thank you, Andre." Says if you get a chance, War of the Worlds 2020. I haven't even heard of that. War of the Worlds 2020. Don't know what that is. Uh-oh. Yeah, freezing. Yeah. So look, feed's breaking down. Yeah, I'm we've done this, and we'll see everyone in Discord. Thank y'all so much for hanging out. House hearing will go November 13th, Wednesday, and the Senate hearing is now scheduled Tuesday, November 19th. Again, shout out to Ron James and MUFON for bring this information to light. Doing and forward to hearing from Ron being down in DC. We'll connect and we'll get some information because live streaming and down in itself. So that's really cool. But I will both of the hearings. So make sure to come to watch the live stream. I will have the internet fixed by then, so don't worry about it. Make sure it's good. All right, y'all. See you guys tomorrow. Remember, every day's a gift.
I live inside my own world of make-believe. Kids screaming in the cradles, profanities. I see the world through ice covered in ink and bleach. Cross out the ones who heard my cries and watched me weep.